Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Managing Disruptive Change. This week's chapter was about the reactions to disruption patterns. So let's do a little recap of what we've seen in this week, and also let's try a little outlook to what's coming up the next week. We've seen in general that there are a lot of threats in the world. If you cluster them, you can say they are from 4 dimensions, and those 4 dimensions at the very end, if you put them together, build 6 disruption patterns. And those 6 disruption patterns can be seen in the practical world. So companies typically face that pattern, and not only they typically face that pattern, they show a very typical reaction to that pattern. And these are the reactions. And we talked about those reactions, which is a long list, extensively when we went through all those patterns. And not every company is using every of those reactions, but they combine those reactions to a proper, own reaction, so to say. So this is what you can basically do. If you, for example, drown in competing options, you basically try to do this, but you have to understand further what you really do in this reaction list, what you really use in that reaction list. Because what we are able to see, not every company uses every action. It just doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Because disruptions could have a different degree, a different intensity. And this is what we are looking at next. Some disruption, potential disruption might be there immediately, and they scare the entire industry. And for example, when regulation changes something, it's a big change. But if technologies develop and they develop gradually over time, it might be a lot smaller change. So what is really important is to understand the disruption and understand the degree of the disruption right now in order to know if I have my long list of actions, how do I really use that long list of actions? So if I, for example, need management support, do I really need top management support? Do they have to be the first ones to communicate? Or is it just they have to develop a vision and that's it, and then the company will follow a slightly new path? So this is also our next step. Since we have a long list of reaction patterns, now we know that every disruption pattern can occur with different degrees of disruptions. And understanding that degree of disruption now helps us to detail the right action for each disruption pattern in order to know what is really the right reaction of your company. Sounds complicated right now? It's going to be very easy if we look at the videos from next week.